Now, where are you from?
San Diego, California. Originally, that's where I was born. Around the time I was 11, moved to Tampa, Florida. So I've been there for a minute. Left, joined the Army, went to Texas, and went to Georgia, and came back. So I'm coming out of Tampa right now.
Now, what was the reason for the move from San Diego to Tampa at that time?
I think my parents just wanted to move. You know what I'm saying? California is not cheap to live in. Like, you gotta have some real bread to be living anywhere in California. In most places, like,
I've heard that.
In most places, so they just wanted to make the move. Probably something similar, because Florida is a little similar to California in a sense. So shit, moved to Tampa, Florida. That's all I know.
It's just interesting because that's like going from one end of the coast to the other end of the coast, and it's like, why Tampa out of all the places you could have chose?
Hey, I don't even know, man. Hey, it is what it is, though, man. Tampa cool, though. Like, I don't got nothing against Tampa. Tampa's definitely cool, but I just love San Diego, where I come from, what I embraced in California, so.
All the other places that you moved to after that before coming back to Tampa was because you were in the military?
Yeah.
So those were military moves?
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a little bit.
Bad.
But just growing up, whether it was in San Diego or Tampa, what was that like for you? Can you paint the picture for us?
Growing up in San Diego, from what I do remember, that shit was wild. I'm talking about gang violence all the time, you know what I'm saying? Nigga got chased by some Crips when I was hella young, you know what I'm saying? Just out there on the street doing whatever, man. Shit was crazy. Tampa, I just moved around a lot, like literally in Tampa, like in Brandon, Florida. My mom's, we just moved to a lot of different apartments. So it's like I met a lot of different people going everywhere around Tampa. Temple Terrace, motherfucking Brandon, Wesley Chapel, Ruskin, all that shit. Riverview. I went to a lot of places for real.
Now, do you still have family in San Diego?
Yes, I do. I got a couple aunties out there.
How often do you go back?
It's been a while since I went back, but I just went to LA in April this year. So, yeah.
I see. Growing up, was it rough? Would you consider your upbringing rough or no? Not really.
Not really. I would think just being unfortunate and probably not having would be my struggles of growing up, you know what I'm saying? Versus actually being rough and getting into a lot of bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
What was the worst point of the not having and that sort of struggle?
Going to high school and not even having fresh clothes when, you know, the new year started, or not having money for certain shit, you know what I'm saying? Because got family problems and shit. They can't make do with what it is, so, you know, got to get out there and get it on your own. You got to deal with it, though.
Some people say with the public schooling system, uniforms are a reason for something like that. Maybe the lesser fortunate or the people that can't afford fresh stuff, if they have uniforms, the bullying might not be so bad, you know, the segregation of, you know, different classes might not, you know, rich, poor, middle class, that sort of thing. It might not be so, because everybody's in a uniform.
Yeah.
You having grown up without a uniform in school and coming from that struggle of not having the freshest clothes once or twice, do you think uniforms should be implemented in public schooling or no?
I mean, yeah, because the way the generation getting right now, that shit wild. Young niggas is really, really wild. So, I mean, it might help a little bit, but I guess it depends on who you know, what you actually doing, because some niggas don't give a fuck about shit, and they'll just get at you just for you being you, you know what I'm saying? So I think uniforms will help in a sense. It might need to be something that's implemented, so, yeah.
But then somebody told me, you know, even if you did uniforms, as an argument, they might say that, well, you know, somebody that's less fortunate, their stuff might not be as crispy as somebody, you know, you might have worn it way more and you might have less of those uniforms than others, and maybe the shoes, if the shoes aren't uniforms, that's a giveaway.
I mean, that's somebody just pushing for some shit, but the shoes, they will stand out. You can't really.
So maybe uniform with the shoes
Uniform with the shoes. You got to go all the way. You can't just play with that shit. You can't play with it. Go all the way. Yeah.
What about as a kid? Did you ever get into trouble or not really?
Nah, because I live life with the thought that I feel like it's just a perfect world you should want to live in. You know what I'm saying? Got to be optimistic about the shit. So when you look up and you look outside your window or just look on TV and you see the shit that people get into, you know what you don't want to get into. So why walk into that direction? See what I'm saying? So be alright. I ain't gonna say I was a perfect kid. Nigga was out here I was stuck. Low key, I was stuck. And I'm talking about fucking bitches left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stole my mom's boyfriend's car just to go to my girlfriend's house. I was current. Like, yo, I'd do whatever I wanted to. But it's cause I stayed with my grandma too. I was like, fuck that. My grandma let me do what I wanted to. So I do whatever.
It's like being in a classroom with a substitute teacher. You kind of run over them until the main teacher comes back.
I ain't gonna say run over my grandma because she a thug, but she let me do what I want to do. Plus, she sometimes, you know, she's a worker, so like she worked 12 hours a day, so she ain't got time to be yelling at me or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
What type of student were you in school?
I say a B average student. I didn't care. I didn't like school anyway, so I was like, I'm just finna get it in and graduate. Fuck all the bullshit. Why do some dumb shit and fail? So you guys can be the same shit. You don't want to be in that place. Like, you don't want to be there. Fuck that. So why fail to be in the same spot?
Did you rap in school?
Just a little bit. Like, literally, nigga, I was the dancer and I was the crumper, pop lock, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I rapped just because I knew how to rap, but it wasn't like heavy like it is now. Niggas knew me for dancing, like dance competitions, talent shows, being in the clubs, little teen clubs, crumping, all that shit. So.
Crumping?
Yeah.
What's that?
Crumping is, I don't know if you remember that movie Rise that came out like 2005.
Okay.
Something that started in California. It's supposed to be like a spiritual dance for me. Like, it evolved from just fucking throwing hands, you know, left and right. Like, yo, you can do a lot with crumping. It ain't just, oh, I'm gonna throw my hands left and right. Nah, if you know how to pop lock still or break dance, you can implement all that shit. These motherfuckers that be doing the whip and nay and the motherfucker hitting them folks, they be doing that shit too. They be doing that shit, just incorporate it all.
I've heard of the term crump, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. But what do you think of today's youth and what they dance and how they dance? Like you mentioned, the whip, the nay, those various moves that everybody knows. The Millie Rock.
Them niggas is lit. Like, them niggas is lit. I think dances today are more about having fun than, you know, other ones that came out in the past. You know, like crump niggas, I feel like you gotta take more seriously, take practice. But a Millie Rock nigga, throw your hands left and right, yo. That's it to it. But I think it's good dances, man. It just keep you vibe. It keep you vibing. It keep you turning lit. It's a good dance.
Did you battle classmates like with your rap stuff or no?
Well, no, not with the rap. With the dancing, hell yeah. I battled a lot. I battled a lot of motherfuckers. I got a friend who's a battle rapper now, but me and him used to dance. His name Craig Lamar. That nigga battle raps now. So.
Do you still keep up with the dances that are in today's times or no?
Yeah, no. Like, I don't really be out there trying to just dance with them in a club or something like that, because I'd be like, I'm rapping now, so it's a different spectrum, you know what I'm saying? But I do keep up with it because you see everything. Instagram, Twitter, all that shit gonna show you what it is.
Graduated high school?
Yeah.
And then you decided to join the military after that, I assume?
Yeah, fucking, when you know you unfortunate, you ain't got no scholarships, you ain't got no jobs, you ain't got no money, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got no car to get to where you going, like, you out of options, so it's best for you to man up, know what the fuck you gotta do, make an opportunity for yourself. I mean, the Army for me was, a bad experience. I ain't gonna tell you not to do it, but for me it was a bad experience. But I knew I was gonna get some money in my pocket, just a little bit of change, just to, you know, take care of myself, you know what I'm saying, to provide for family. You know, if I had kids or anything like that, I could give them my fucking college tuition that the Army gonna pay for. So yeah, you just gotta man up, because a lot of people that go to the military, they're just unfortunate, or they just like, okay, I feel like I want to serve my country. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers with money ain't finna go to the military for what? They got money, you know what I'm saying? It's a waste of their time. A motherfucker telling you what to do every day of your life, all day. I don't give a fuck if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, an off day, a holiday. You don't want that taken away from you, you know what I'm saying? So.
There's some people that make careers out of it, though. They spend 20 years in the military. They do past that.
It's a term one of my homies taught me when I was in there. There's niggas in the Army, and there's Army niggas. Army niggas, they are devoted, dedicated, no matter what bullshit they go through to stick it out and really do 20 years, and which is good. Like, I imagine someone who 18, he do 20 years, he get out 38, he retire, he ain't gotta do shit for the rest of his life, but just chill if he wants to. You know what I'm saying? He's set for life. If you got that mentality, you strong enough to feel like you belong here in the military, then do it. But if you don't, like me, I just like, no, I want to rap. I legit feel like I can make a change. I can really show my real talent. Like, this Army shit ain't for me. I'm a lazy motherfucker, but when it comes to this music, I be on 200, 200% trying to do this shit. But the Army wasn't for me because it wasn't something I liked. Like, I don't want nobody to tell me what to do. I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning just because you say so, motherfucker. No, like, that's not for me. You know what I'm saying? But I love the music too much to be sitting in one spot and not dedicate all that into the music to be able to move freely. If a motherfucker be like, yo, I need you to come to a show right now, how I'm gonna come to the show when I gotta go talk to someone and be like, yo, I need to take a day off. And that shit gotta be like approved 2 weeks in advance. You only get a certain amount of leave days. If you work the regular 9 to 5, you only get a certain amount of leave days a month. So how you gonna accumulate that? What if shit start taking off for you? How the fuck you gonna move? You can't move around. Now with somebody telling you what to do, you gotta check in and let them know all your moves. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody clock me. Nigga, my mama don't even clock me, so you can't clock me. Nah, we good.
Shoot, what if the military starts making some moves and it's wartime?
Shit.
And there goes the career.
I don't want no problems with that. I've been to Iraq too, but I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no regular shit to see. Especially if you really get a chance to see it, because me, I was just lucky enough to just be on like a little small base in Iraq, so I didn't even really leave the base. But that shit still got bombed. We still seen shit. But if you was out there on convoys going from one fob to another, motherfucker, you taking a chance of risking your life every day in that truck with you, your person, the 2 people you work with, which is gonna be another TC or a driver or a gunner, whichever one of y'all 3. You know what I'm saying? You risk your life every day out there. Sometimes I'd be like, for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, but shit happens. It's a risk you gotta take. It's a risk.
How many years did you do?
6.
That was your contract, was 6 years?
Nah, my original contract was 3. And I read up once, and then I did like an extension. It's almost the same thing, but extension like is really short. You know what I'm saying? And then when you re-enlist, it's just a whole nother contract. So
Honorable discharge?
Yeah.
Now, okay, you get out of high school. Did you do any ROTC and them type of classes in high school at all, or no?
I took one class because when I was 16, I was like, yo, I know I'm going to the military. I ain't got no option. So I took it in my senior year. But I was stuck, and I was like, bro, y'all can't tell me what to do. Fuck that. This is school. Like, fuck y'all. This is school. Like, nah, y'all not gonna talk to me like that. I don't give a fuck what's going on.
Anybody in your family previously joined the military?
Yeah, my dad did. One of my aunts did. I had a cousin that did. So
what was their reaction when you told them you wanted to join?
All of them was on some like, yeah, do it. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he was in the Navy, so he was like, why ain't you going to the Navy? I was like, nigga, I'm not a water person. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that. But their reaction was, you know, just do something for yourself, because we know what you're gonna do when you get there. You're gonna take care of business, and if you don't like it, you're gonna leave. You know what I'm saying?
So why'd you choose the Army?
Marines crazy as fuck. Air Force, you gotta have like a high score, a high GT score to get in. So if you ain't got no high score, they ain't really finna talk to you. Navy ain't with the waters. I like, shit, I ain't really got no options. We do the Army, you know what I'm saying? So.
Now, was this decision made right after high school was done, or did you take some time off from high school, maybe try to get a regular job and then join the military?
Nah, it was made as soon as high school was done, because I knew I've tried to get a job since I was like 14 years old. So in between 14 and 18, I never seen a job. So I was like, shit, they ain't finna probably still hire me now. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Now when I know I could get it, so I graduated in June 8th, 2010. I was in the Army October 10th, 2010. Like, really no time. The only thing I did was work out at that time.
College wasn't even a...
Nope, I don't like school.
a choice.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so you do the Army thing.
Yeah.
Did you rap while you were inside?
Yeah, like actually when I got to Iraq, which was 2011, in May of 2011, I just met this guy. He was rapping, and I'm like, how the fuck I ain't doing this shit? And I'm like, I know I hate this shit, so I need to do something. So he was like, yeah, man, you come over here anytime, you know, because it's like we were staying in a little trailer. He's like, you come over here anytime, you could just get on this computer and shit. We'll record. We was like literally fucking recording through the laptop, nigga, no mic, no nothing. I'm like, shit, fuck it. So I'm learning how to do this shit, and he had a MacBook, so I was just learning all the little programs he had, fucking using, what is it, Guitar Band or some shit like that. I forgot.
GarageBand.
GarageBand, GarageBand. We was using that bullshit. So with no mic, the shit sounded shitty, but I was like, yo, I still want to do this shit. Wait till I get back to the States, yo. I'm gonna get in a real studio. We're gonna go ham. So yeah.
So people knew you were a rapper.
Yeah.
That wasn't like something you kind of hid just with the few people. Everybody on the base knew type of thing?
In a sense, yeah, because even when I got back to the States from Iraq, I didn't really push myself and promote myself because money, when people think when you're in the military, you getting money like that. You really not. So the bread that I did have, I just make tracks as much as I could. I had my homeboy come down. We just built an in-house studio, and the quality wasn't good, but the most people I was around, like everybody I literally worked with, they knew I rap. You know what I'm saying? So I went to a couple clubs and they knew I rapped. So.
The people over you, did they know you rapped?
Yeah.
What was the reaction to your raps while you were in the military?
They definitely fucked with it. They fucked with it, but me looking back, I'm not sure how much they really fucked with it. They always believed in me, you know what I'm saying? So.
I've talked to some people that have done some military service, and they said that, under Barack Obama administration, he preached that, he wanted to get as many troops out of the Middle East and back home in the United States as much as possible. So when I spoke to somebody, they felt that, joining the military under that presidency was probably better off to join the military than the Trump administration, who seems like there's possible, war stuff that could happen and so on and so forth. What do you think? I mean, you actually went to Iraq, but do you feel like somebody thinking about joining the military might have to think twice because of the current conditions of, you hear stuff about Russia and you hear stuff about North Korea and you hear stuff about China, and that the climate, it just seems kind of unpredictable at this point.
Most def, and it's not
like, was it safer, in other words, was it safer to join the military under Barack versus the current administration, Trump?
Yeah, and I'm not going to take away from Barack, but it's like when you got a Democrat in office and you got a Republican in office, Democrat, they for the people, so they not really trying to put too many people out there, like for what, you know what I'm saying? But a Republican, them motherfuckers ready for war, yo. We finna sign bonuses to get you out there. We finna do some extended shit to get you out there. You finna get this bread, go. We going to war. Like, that's what it's about for them, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the money in the military. So depending on what's gonna happen in the future, I probably wouldn't, But if you really, like I said, if you're pushed to the boundary of having no options, like I was, no matter who was president, you're gonna do it anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Looking back, was that the right decision for you to make as far as the branch of the military you chose? Or do you wish you would have chose a different one?
I wish I would have chose the Air Force, but again, I couldn't make the score to choose the Air Force, so it just was what it was. So, but I went through a lot in the Army that just made me a better person. Not the Army itself, but if I wasn't in the Army, I think a lot of the experience that I would have experienced outside of it just would have been troubling, you know what I'm saying? More struggle, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that I wouldn't even wanted to project it, but with me being in the Army, I just was away from a lot of things that I could have been dealing with. So it just worked out for me in the best terms. I definitely was stressed out, like that shit. I had a lot of shit going on, but I met a lot of people. I perfected my craft just being, being such a loner, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm low-key antisocial, so me just keeping to myself, I just worked. And then I met two of my homeboys, Ruger the Savage, Dope Donnie. We formed Money Train Gang, and we just went to work. And when I got around them, when you get on tracks with other people, sometimes when you love music, you understand what's going on the track, like what's really around, what's a real flow, what's delivery, what's the confidence level, like what it takes to really make a hook, how you dissect all of that, you know what I'm saying? That shit is everything in music. Some people just hop on the track and just go, like, that's stupid, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you love the music, let that beat talk to you, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was a confidence builder, like literally to be on a track, because I had no delivery. That's one thing I really came over, like I really had no delivery. Now I got it, you know what I'm saying? Now I get on the track with some confidence. You can ask me to start rapping right now, and I'd just be like, okay, I want to do it. 3 years ago, I don't even know if I could do that. I wouldn't even listen to my own music like that 3 years ago. So,
after the extension was over, was your reason not to maybe sign up or re-enlist again was because of the music career choice?
Most def, and the people I was around. Like I had some some really shitty people around me as far as like working for, you know what I'm saying? Like nah.
I see.
I wanted to fight some of them, you know what I'm saying? So.
Looking back at your career, I don't want to say career, looking back at your life, let me rephrase. Was joining the military the right thing to do when you did it, and how long you did it? Or do you wish, if you could turn back the hands of time, maybe you skipped the military service altogether and you would have done something else, maybe just gone straight to the music, maybe tried to just continue trying to find a job and then do music? Like, how do you look back at your life, and if you could hindsight 2020?
I think for me it was the right decision because of the people that I met and how I dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like in those past 7 years, I wouldn't have done the same. I probably would have still been doing music, but I don't think I would have been as far as I am with me just being who I am. I wouldn't have gotten, I would have been too stressed out to probably even move around without really having a real job or sitting at my mama's house, you know what I'm saying? That ain't what I want. I'm trying to have my own shit, you know what I'm saying? Sitting at my grandma's house, like, that's crazy. That's insane. Like, if you really just gonna sit at your mom's house, like, there are people who still live with their parents, and that's cool, because, you know, problems happen, situations happen, but to really sit at your parents' house, that's insane.
Somebody watching this,
yeah.
Let's say they're thinking about joining the military. It doesn't matter the branch, but let's say they're thinking about joining the military, and should I do it? Should I not? What's the advice there?
Join.
I know everybody's circumstances are different, too.
Everybody's circumstances are different, but
generally speaking, somebody on the fence, should I go, should I not?
If you on the fence, join, because do 3 years, that shit'll go by like that. And if you don't like it, get out, you know what I'm saying? And you creating another benefit for yourself in the long run. Like, so it's best that you do that for yourself, you know what I'm saying, if you feel that way. But just pick the branch, make sure it's the right decision, and just stay motivated. That's all I can tell you. That's what they're gonna tell you anyway, stay motivated. But definitely, if you're thinking about it, you're probably gonna do it, because you probably need it, you know what I'm saying? And the help is there. They're definitely gonna help you.
Now, I don't know what the real stats are, but in my recollection of what I know about rap music and hip hop, has there anybody that's been successful commercially or popular in rap or hip hop that has had a military background?
Ice-T, Freddie Gibbs. There's a couple more. There's like 6 rappers that had a military background and they popping. But I think the most successful one would be Ice-T.
Really?
MC Hammer did it, if I'm not mistaken. But Ice-T would be the most successful.
I see.
Yeah.
You don't see it a lot, though.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot.
Because if you say MC Hammer and Ice-T, and then you throw Freddie Gibbs in there, there's been quite some time between a Ice-T and MC Hammer and a Freddie Gibbs.
Gap. Yeah.
Talking like a 10-year gap, maybe more.
Yeah, maybe more. Yeah.
Do you feel like those statistics kind of, I don't want to say discourage you, but does that make it harder for you?
Not at all. You are who you are. If you put in that work to get what you want, you're going to get it. It don't matter what your background is, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers could be in college and be like, yo, I'm trying to rap. They go from, like Lil Yachty, he went from nothing to something, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers that's out on the street that's homeless, they went from nothing to something. So you can't discourage it from what your whole background is, because motherfuckers been through a lot of shit and they still here today getting it in, you know what I'm saying? Really getting to it.
Was 6 years, you said 6 years?
Yeah.
Was that too long for you? Do you wish you would have just kept it 3 or 4, 5?
No, because I knew I wasn't ready to get out in a sense of financial situations and stuff like that. Like, I knew if I got out at this point in time, I'd be fucked, and I don't want to be fucked. I deal with the bullshit until it's time, but I know when my time is coming. So when I realized when my time came, I was like, yeah, I'm gone.
If somebody's thinking about getting out or when to get out, as far as, you know, should I re-enlist, should I not?
Yeah.
Is my initial contract good enough? How does one make a decision on getting out if it's appropriate?
Do they really love what they doing in the military or not? That's one. Is your family straight? That's 2. Is your finances straight? That's 3. And that's what genuinely keeps people in, because their family might not be straight. They might just have another kid on the way or something like that. the money gonna be different. Like, they want to make sure they straight. Nobody's jumping out just to jump out, you know, without having a real plan, because there's only so much you can do, you know what I'm saying? So they want to make sure they straight, because the benefits is everything, especially if you got kids. Free shit.
You didn't have any kids?
Nah, I ain't have no kids.
You said you described yourself as a loner. I imagine you didn't really have a relationship either?
No, I had relationships. Definitely had those. Yeah, definitely had those with the women, man. But, I mean...
Was that easy or tough to have while you were serving?
A
relationship with somebody?
It was tough because the military isn't easy. Like, you get stressed out by shit every day. So when you go to work and be stressed out, and you come home and you be stressed out with your girl, that's just the worst. Like, I've been through that shit like twice over, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a good feel once that's going on. So it's definitely tough in a lot of time frame, because you don't get much time with them at times. So you can be on 24-hour duty, you could be in the field or on the boat. Like, if you're in the Navy, you could be out to sea for like 3 months, you could be deployed. So of course it's hard, you know what I'm saying? All you're doing is thinking about her, because that's the most positive thing you probably got at the time. You know what I'm saying? That keeps you motivated, keeps your head up. Like, I'm gonna be straight, you know, my girl at home, you know, she gonna hold me down. But when shit ain't right at the crib, it's rocky, period. You know what I'm saying? It's rocky.